The Galactic Council chamber stretched across 3 kilometers of polished obsidian floor, its ceiling lost somewhere in the artificial clouds that floated above. Representatives from 473 species occupied their designated seats, each crafted to accommodate their unique physiologies. But one seat had remained conspicuously empty for 2,000 years, the seat reserved for Earth. Mia Chen stood at the entrance of the chamber, her heart hammering against her ribs as she adjusted her diplomatic uniform. Beside her, Ken Rodriguez checked their credentials one final time, his dark eyes reflecting the bioluminescent patterns that danced across the walls. "You ready for this?" Ken whispered, his voice barely audible above the chattering of alien delegates. Mia nodded, though her throat felt dry. 2,000 years they've been waiting. Let's not keep them any longer. The moment they stepped onto the chamber floor, silence fell like a guillotine. 473 pairs, and in some cases clusters of eyes turned toward them. Mia felt the weight of those stares, felt the fear that rippled through the assembly like a physical wave. Ambassador Velthar of the Kryn Collective was the first to speak, his translator rendering his chittering into perfect standard Galactic. "The humans have finally arrived." His words dripped with something between awe and dread. Mia and Ken walked the long path to Earth's seat. The chair itself was magnificent, carved from a single piece of crystallized starlight positioned at the very center of the circular arrangement. Not at the head, not in a place of honor, but at the nexus point where all other seats faced inward. The strategic position was not lost on Mia. Earth's seat commanded the room. "Honored delegates," Mia began, her voice amplified by the chamber's acoustic perfection. "On behalf of humanity, we apologize for our delayed arrival. We received your invitation only recently." A murmur swept through the assembly. The Thextorian delegate, a being of crystalline geometry, pulsed with agitated colors. "Delayed? The invitation was sent 2,000 of your years ago." Ken stepped forward, his expression calm. "We never received it. Earth's early detection systems were primitive. By the time we found the beacon, it had been broadcasting for millennia." "Convenient," hissed Lady Ixtara of the Serpentine Dominion. Her scales reflected the chamber's light like liquid mercury. "Perhaps the humans were simply afraid to claim their seat." Mia smiled, and something in that expression made several delegates shift uncomfortably in their seats. "Respectfully, Lady Ixtara, humans are rarely afraid of claiming what's ours. We simply didn't know this existed." Ambassador Velthar leaned forward, his mandibles clicking nervously. "Then you don't know? You truly don't know why this seat exists?" "We have theories," Ken said, "but we'd appreciate hearing it from you." The Galactic Council's oldest member, Elder Zephyrim of the First Dawn civilization, rose from his seat. He was ancient beyond measure, his species having achieved spaceflight when most others were still single-celled organisms. When he spoke, everyone listened. 20,000 years ago, Zephyrim began, his voice like wind through canyons. "The Galactic Council discovered Earth. Your species was young. You had barely discovered agriculture. We watched you as we watched all pre-spaceflight civilizations, cataloging your development." He paused, his luminous eyes fixed on the 2 humans. "What we found terrified us." Mia felt Ken tense beside her, but she kept her expression neutral. "Go on." "Every species in this chamber evolved on worlds that nurtured them," Zephyrim continued. "Worlds with manageable predators, stable climates, abundant resources. Our homeworlds shaped us to be cooperative, to be cautious, to seek harmony." He gestured broadly at the assembly. "We reached the stars through careful planning, through collective effort spanning millennia. Humanity evolved on a death world." The words hung in the air like a verdict. "Earth's gravity is crushing by our standards," added the Thextorian delegate. "Your weather patterns are catastrophically violent. Your planet has been struck by asteroids that caused mass extinctions multiple times. Your tectonic activity should have prevented any complex civilization from forming. And yet we thrived," Mia finished softly. "More than thrived," Velthar said, his voice shaking. "You conquered. Every predator on your world either learned to fear you or went extinct. Every disaster that struck Earth only made you more resilient. You developed technology not through peaceful cooperation, but through endless competition and conflict. You reached nuclear capability while still divided into warring nations. You should have destroyed yourselves 100 times over." Ken's jaw tightened, But we didn't. No, Zephyrim agreed. You didn't. And that is precisely what terrifies us. He waved a crystalline appendage and holographic images filled the chamber. Images of human history. Wars, disasters, triumphs, and tragedies. The fall of civilizations and their rise from ashes. The invention of weapons that could end all life. And the choice to step back from that brink. We left this seat empty, Zephyrim said, because we knew that if humanity ever reached the stars, they would need to be at the center of the Galactic Council. Not as leaders, we have no leaders here, but as the fulcrum upon which all decisions balance. I don't understand, Mia said, though she was beginning to. Lady Ixtera's voice was quiet, almost reverent. For 20,000 years we have watched you. We have seen you face extinction-level events and emerge stronger. We have watched you develop ethics and philosophy while simultaneously perfecting the art of war. You are the only species we've ever encountered that has both the capacity for unspeakable violence and the wisdom to choose peace. You are what we are not, Velthar added. You are survivors, fighters, and when the day comes, and our calculations say it will come, when something threatens all life in the galaxy, we will need you. The chamber fell silent again. Mia looked at Ken, saw her own emotions reflected in his eyes. Pride, humility, understanding. This seat wasn't just an invitation, Ken said slowly. It was insurance, Zephyrim nodded. Yes, insurance against the day when cooperation and caution are not enough. When someone will need to stand and fight against impossible odds, to refuse to accept extinction as inevitable. Mia stepped forward and placed her hand on the crystallized starlight chair. It felt warm beneath her palm, as if it had been waiting for this touch for 2 millennia. Then we accept, she said firmly. Not as warriors, though we can fight. Not as saviors, though we will defend. We accept as partners, as equals. And when that day comes, if it comes, you won't stand alone. The tension in the chamber broke like a dam. Delegates began to speak all at once, their voices a cacophony of relief and welcome. For the first time in 2,000 years, Earth's seat would no longer be empty. As Mia and Ken sat down together in the chair built for humanity, they understood the weight of what they carried. Not just the hopes of Earth, but the fears of an entire galaxy. Fears that somehow, paradoxically, gave everyone hope. Because sometimes, the galaxy needed monsters, and humanity had spent 10,000 years learning to be the best monsters in existence. Monsters who chose to be kind. End.